Good morning! Welcome back to Math Dali. Yan po. Marami pong salamat sa mga nag-subscribe. Yan. Tapos na po tayo sa week 3. Sa mga hindi pa po nag-subscribe sa channel, pindutin lang po yung subscribe button. Yan po. Marami pong salamat. Tama na rin yung notification bell. Po. Okay, so punta na tayo sa ating week 4 ng ating lesson. Yan ay tungkol sa real numbers and their properties. Pero bago yan, sagutan muna natin yung ating homework. Yan, binigay ko sa aking previous video. Yan ay tungkol sa multiplication and division of integers. Sa mga hindi pa po nakakapanood, pindutin lang po yung I button dito sa taas na bahagi. Yan po. Okay, panood na lang po. Okay, so sagutan na natin to. Number 1, we have 19 plus 6. So, pag nag-add tayo ng integers, pagka parehas yung sign, add lang ninyo, then copy the sign. So, lagyan na natin dito yung sagot. 19 plus 6, that is equal to 25. Yan. And dito naman, 6 plus 19, that is equal to, yan, that is equal to 25. Parehas pa rin po kasi nagkapalit lang sila ng pwesto. Then we have the next one. Number 2, negative 9 multiply to 7. Yan. Mapapansin ninyo yung ating factor, magkaiba yung sign. So again, yung rule natin ng multiplication, pag nagmumultiply ng unlike sign, the product is always be negative. Pag magkaiba yung sign ng factor, that is negative 9 times 7, that is 63. The next, 7 multiply to negative 9, that is equal to, yan, unlike sign ulit, that is equal to negative 63. Next, 28 plus 0. Okay, 28 plus 0, that will be equal to 28. Yan. And next, 16 multiplied by 1. And 16 times 1, parehas naman yan na positive. So, the product is also positive, and that is positive 16. Then last, and next, 10 plus negative 10. Yan, magkaiba yung sign. Pagka magkaiba yung sign ng ina-add ninyo, yan, kukunin lang ninyo yung difference. Yan. So, 10 minus 10, that will be equal to 0. Then we have 1/3 multiplied to 3. So, kapag ka 3, yan, whole number natin, yan, pag nag-multiply tayo ng fraction, yan, gagawin lang natin tong rational. We have understood na to na may over 1 sa ilalim. Yan. 1 times 3, multiply lang yung numerator, that is equal to 3. Then 3 times 1, that is equal to 3. And 3 divided by 3, that is equal to, lagyan na natin dito yung sagot, that is equal to 1. Ayan. So, itong operation ng fraction ay pag-aaralan pa lang natin sa week 5 ng ating aralin or lesson. Ayan yung sagot ng ating homework. Tapos na. Yay! Okay, next. Na tayo sa ating lesson ngayon. Yan ay tungkol sa real numbers. Pero bago yan, let us have these essential questions. Yan. How do you know if a number is a rational numbers? And we also have this question. What are the properties used to evaluate rational numbers? Yan, pag-aaralan natin yung properties at saka yung mga numbers na kung saan yan ay tinatawag na rational numbers. Okay, two kinds of real numbers. Meron tayong tinatawag na rational numbers and irrational numbers. Isa-isayin natin yan. Okay, so unahin muna natin yung ating rational numbers. Rational numbers is a real numbers that can be written as a ratio of two integers. Rational numbers written in decimal form can be terminating or repeating. So pagka terminating, yung decimal natin hindi na ulit. Pag repeating, yung decimal ninyo ay continuous na ulit. So we have this example of rational numbers. We have positive 16, 1/2, 3.56, terminating decimal, negative 8. And we have 1.333 and so on and so forth. That is, and Continuous, that is repeating decimal. Yan. Meron tayong ellipsis dito. Then we have negative 3/4. Okay, making connection. Biologist classifies animal based on the shared characteristic. The horned lizard is an animal, a reptile, a lizard, and a gecko. Rational numbers are classified this way as well. Yan. Animals, reptiles, lizard, and gecko. Yan. How about irrational numbers? Pagka sinabing irrational numbers, this is a number that cannot be written as a ratio of two integers. And irrational numbers written as a decimal that are non-terminating and non-repeating. Yan. Example natin yung square root of non-perfect square. Non-perfect square natin, meron tayong square root of 17. Yung 17 is not a perfect square. Then we also have the pi, delicious. Yan. Yung pi natin sa circle, sa circumference ng circle natin, makikita nyo yung symbol na to, yung pi. Okay, then we have the vocabulary. So, umpisa natin sa set. Ito yung gagamitan natin. Collection of object for numbers. Identify natin to, mga numbers natin as the element of natural numbers hanggang sa real numbers natin. Set notation, ito yung symbol natin. We have these natural numbers. So, pag sinabi natural numbers, these are counting numbers such as we have 1, 2, 3, and so on and so forth. Then we say whole numbers, these are natural numbers and 0. Yan. Such as we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on and so forth. Yan. Meron tayong 0 dito. Tayong natural numbers. Then we have the integers. Integers, these are positive and negative natural numbers and 0. Yan. So, meron tayong negative integers dito. Meron din tayong positive integers including this 0. Yan. Then we have the rational numbers. Rational numbers, these are real numbers that can be expressed as a ratio of integers or a fraction. Yan. Rational numbers, any numbers that is not irrational, such as we have square root of 2, we have pi, yan. Yan yung mga irrational numbers natin. Then we have the real numbers. All numbers associated with the number line. Okay, so yan. Okay, let us have the Venn diagram for natural numbers. Whole numbers, integers, and the rational numbers. Una dyan yung natural numbers natin. Mga element natin dyan yung 1, 2, 3, yung mga counting numbers. Yan. Natural number is a subset of a whole numbers. Yan, nasa loob siya ng whole numbers. Yan, 0 is an element of a whole numbers including the natural numbers. Yan. Pero yung 0, hindi siya element ni natural numbers. Kaya subset siya ng whole numbers. Then we have the integers. Whole number is a subset of integers. Yan. Kasama sa mga element ng integers natin na hindi element ni whole number ay yung negative 11, yung mga negative integers natin, negative 5, yan. Then we have the rational. Yung integer ay subset ni rational numbers, yan. Mga element ni rational numbers na hindi element ng integers, ito yung decimal natin, 6.7. Fraction, negative 5 over 9, negative 0.8, and we have the mixed number, we have 2 and 3 over 7. Yan, yung mga element ni rational numbers na hindi element ni integers. That's why it is a subset. Yan. Element nitong rational, lahat ng integers kasama na tong mga decimal dito at saka yung fractions. Okay, reminders. Real numbers are all positive, negative fractions, and decimal. They are also called the rational numbers. Irrational numbers are usually decimal that do not terminate or repeat. They go on forever. Yan. Example natin yan, yung pi. Yan. Or di man kaya yung ang square root ng hindi perfect square. Katulad ng 2. 2 is not a perfect square. Then we have square root of 3. 3 is also not a perfect square. Yan. Okay, let us have the properties. A property is something that is true for all situations. Yan. Ito yung mga 5 properties natin. Isa-isa natin to discuss. Distributive, commutative, associative, identity property of 0 and 1. Then we have the inverse property. Okay, we commute when we go back and forth from school to home. Yan. But out of this moment, yan, hindi tayo nagko-commute papunta sa school at pabalik sa ating mga tahanan kasi nasa pandemic po tayo. Yan. Algebra terms commute when they trade places. Sabihin yan, magpapalit ng pwesto. Yan. X plus Y, interchange, trade places, we have Y plus X. Yan. This is a statement of a commutative property for addition. Sabihin yan, X plus Y is the same as Y plus X. It also works for multiplication. X times Y is the same as Y multiplied by X. For commutative property, the additions and multiplications, the order doesn't matter. Ayan. Sabihin yan, the order doesn't matter. Hindi magbabago yung result pag pinag-add ninyo yung dalawang number na pinagpalit yung pwesto. Yan, for addition. Yan. A plus B is the same as B plus A. Example natin. We have 5 plus 2. That is the same when you add 2 plus 5. Ayan, parehas pa rin ang resulta nito pag pinag-add. Ganon din sa multiplication. Ayan. A times B is the same as B times A. Example natin. We have 7 multiplied by 2. That is the same as we have 2 multiplied by 7. Yan. Same pa rin yung result nito. 7 times 2, kahit pagpalitin mo yan, 2 times 7. Same pa rin yung product na lalabas. Okay na? Ayan yung sa commutative property for addition and multiplication. The order doesn't matter. Next. Property of additions and multiplication. So, ayan yung sinabi ko sa inyo kanina. You can add numbers in any order and you can multiply also numbers in any order. Yan. 3 plus 4 and 1/2. That is the same when you add 4 and 1/2 plus 3. Yan, di magbabago yung result niyan. And for multiplication, 2 times 17 is the same result when you multiply 17 times 2. Yan. To associate with someone means that we like to be with them. Yan. So natin makigroup dito. Yan. Kung gusto niyo makigroup sa kanila, gusto niyo sa kanila. Yan. A tiger and a panther are associating with its other. So yan, si panther at saka si tiger. They are leaving the lions out. Oh, yan, kawawa si lion, nag-iisa. Magkasama dito si tiger at saka si panther. In algebra, we can represent it as x plus y and quantity x plus y. And yung naka-group plus yung si lion, that is z. The panther has decided to be friend with lion. Yan, ngayon magkaibigan naman si panther at saka si lion. Nasaan naman si tiger? The tiger is left out. Ay, kawawa. Umiwalay si tiger. In algebra, we have x plus, yan, ito yung nagre-represent sa mga animals natin. We have the quantity y plus z for panther and the lion respectively. So, yan. This is a statement of the associative property. X, the quantity x plus y plus z is the same as we have x plus the quantity y plus z. Take note also that the variable do not change their order. Hindi magpapalit yung pwesto ng ating variable or yung numbers. Kasi pag nagpalit to, commutative na ang tawag doon. So, pagka associative, this is for the groupings, the regroup. Yan. Yan. Associative property also works for multiplication. Yan. The product of x and y multiplied to z is the same as x multiplied to the product of y and z. So, yun. Pagka nag-group natin to, x times y, yan, yung unang group natin dito, times z, the same pa rin yan kung inuna natin na i-multiply or i-group yung y at saka z bago i-multiply kay x. Okay, property of addition and multiplication. Yan. For associative property, when you are only adding or only multiplying, changing the group will not affect the sum or the product. Okay, pagka group natin to, halimbawa, yung first number natin, 6 plus 8, yan yung group natin, plus the third number 9, that is the same when you group the second and the last number which is 8 and 9. So yan, 6 plus, group naman natin yung 8 at saka yung 9. Parehas pa rin yung lalabas na sagot yan. Likewise, for multiplication, 2 times 1, 8, yan, pagka i-group natin yan, multiply to 16, that is also the same when we group this time yung second at saka yung last factor. 2 multiply 2, we have this quantity. Yung product ng 1, 8 multiply to 16, yan. Associative property of multiplication and addition. For multiplication, let us have this. 6, the quantity 6 times 4, yan, multiply to 3. That is also the same when we group 4 and 3, the product of 4 and 3. Yan, multiply to 6. 6 multiply to, yan, yung group naman na ito. Then for addition naman, we have the quantity a plus b plus c is equal to a plus the quantity b plus c. Ang nag-group naman dito yung second and the last. So dito, ang naka-group dito yung 6 and 4 which is the first and second. Yan. Plus, we have the third number 3. That's equal to 6 plus, yan, ang i-group naman dito yung second and the last number. Yan, 4 and 3. Remember, the Phantom and the lion. Yan, to si tiger. Distributive property. Yan, may nakita ata akong mali. Paki-change na lang to. And this should be A. Palitan na lang to. Dapat ito ay AC. Yan. So, distributive property, A multiplied by B, that is equal to AB. A multiplied by C, that is equal to AC. This should be A. Yan. Yan na. Example natin, ito. 4 multiplied by 3, that is 4 times 3. So, naman yung multiply, yan, 4 times 5. So, yan, product niyan. And sa distributive property. Bigyan lang ng example dito. Yan. Distributive property only has one form. Not one for addition and one for multiplication. Because both operations are used in one property. That is distributive property. So, ito muna. Write its product using the distributive property, then simplify, justify its step. So, ayan. Sagutan natin to. We have 4 multiplied by 98. Madali lang naman sagutan to gamit yung inyong calculator or yung manuman na pagmumultiply. And gagamit na lang tayo dito ng property. Illustrate ko to gamit yung property. So, yung 98, pwede natin yan i-express as the difference. Lagay ko dito. Difference ng 100 minus 2. That is equal to 98. Yan. 100 minus 2 is equal to 98. So, ang property na tawag dyan, yan. Tawag natin sa property na yan, parang hindi ko na dagdag dito. That is what we call the closure property. Dagdag ko na lang. Pag sinabi natin closure property, the sum any number, any real numbers Ayan, pasensya na, hindi ko nasama sa slides. Okay, so closure property, the sum of any real numbers is equal to a real numbers. The sum of any, and dagdag lang dito, the sum of any two real numbers. Ayan, the sum of any two real numbers is equal to a real number. So, example natin, magbibigay ako ng example dito. Sige, example, bago natin sagutan yung problem. Let us have 5 plus 6. That is equal to 11. So, yung 5 at saka 6, both of them are element of real numbers. 11 is also an element of real numbers. So, yung result. Likewise, for subtraction, multiplication, and even for a division. Pag nag-a-add kayo ng dalawang number, real number, dapat ang sagot ay real number din. Ganon din sa subtraction, except for integers. Pag nagsusubtract, hindi kasi closure property yon sa subtraction of integers. Negative and positive only for rational or real numbers. Yan. Okay, so example natin. We have 5 minus, yan, sa real numbers pa rin pala, sorry. Closure, not even for integers, sorry. Kapag nag-add tayo, nag-subtract tayo ng dalawang integers, dapat ang sagot niyan ay integers pa rin. Halimbawa, 3 minus 2. Ayan. Itong dalawang to ay parehas na integers. Dapat ang sagot niyan ay integers pa rin. Ayan. So, kaya ang ginamit ko dito, real numbers na lang para ayan, inline dun sa ating lesson na property ng ating real numbers. So, ganun din sa ating integers. Okay, so likewise for multiplication, when you multiply two real numbers, for example, we have 3 multiplied by 7. Yan, 3 and 7 are real numbers. Yung sagot nito dapat real number din, that is 21. So 21 is also a real number. So yan yung ibig sabihin ng closure property. So pag subtract tayo, yan, nag-add tayo ng dalawang numbers at dapat ang sagot ay real number din. Yung closure property. Sagutan na natin to. So 98. That will be equal to 4 multiplied 2. We have 100 minus 2. Yan. That is, ginamit ko dito yung closure property. Yan. Yung 98 in-express ko as the difference of 102. That will be equal now to, lagay ko dito sa baba yung sagot. Multiply natin to. 4 times 100. Yan. 4 times 100, that will be equal to, tingnan natin dito yung sagot, we have 400. And next, 4 multiplied by negative 2, okay, unlike sign, positive 4 times negative 2, that will be equal to, we have negative 8. Property natin dito, lagay lang natin dito. It is what we call distributive property. Yan. Yan, simplify na natin. Lagay natin dito yung sagot. That will be equal to, oh no, but may t.
Oh, no!
This is equal to 400 minus 8, that is 392. Ang reason yan, lagay lang natin yung reason dito. That is simplify. Yan. Or pwede rin natin lagay dito ulit yung closure property. Yan. Pagka minultiply natin to, yan, or sinubtract na 400 minus 8, yan, dapat ang lalabas ng sagot ay real numbers pa rin. Or sinimplify lang. So yan. Next na tayo. Yan, the identity property makes me think about my identity. Yan. Salamat kay Miss Mateo. Yan, si Miss Iloilo sa ating Miss Universe 2020. Salamat sa pag-endorse ng ating channel. Ginawa pang background. Okay, so let us have this. The identity property for addition as. What can I add to myself to get myself back again? Ano yung idadagdag natin sa x para bumalik yung x? Bumalik yung x. 0, yan. The above is the identity property for addition. So yan, x plus 0 is equal to x. And 0 is the identity element for addition. Dapat pala magpasalamat sa 0. Yan. Okay, so the identity property for multiplication as. What can I multiply to myself to get myself back again? Ito. X multiply to blank, that is equal to x. Paano yung multiply natin dito? That is 1. Okay, so yan. Above is the identity property for multiplication. And 1 is the identity element for multiplication. And identity properties. If you add 0 to any number, the number stays the same. We have a plus 0 is equal to a, or we have 5 plus 0 is equal to 5. So, yan. Kahit anong number, pag in-add nyo sa 0, ang lalabas ng sagot ay yung number pa rin. If you multiply any number times 1, the number stays the same. Yan, sa multiplication naman. A times 1, that's equal to A. Or we have 5 times 1, that's equal to 5. Any number, pag minultiply natin sa 1, that is the same as the number itself. Yan. Then we have the inverse property. If you add any number by its additive inverse, or that is the opposite, the result will be the identity element for addition. That is 0. Yan. We have A. Ano yung opposite ng A? Negative A. Pag pinag-add nyo to, ang sagot ay 0. Na kung saan yung 0 na yan, yan yung ating identity element ng addition. Likewise, we have 5. Yan. Ano yung opposite ng 5? Negative 5. Pag pinag-add nyo yan, and ang sagot ay yung identity element ng addition na 0. Yan. If you multiply any number by its multiplicative inverse, or that is the reciprocal, the result will be the identity element for multiplication. That is 1. So, A multiply 2, yung reciprocal ng A, 1 over A. Yan. Pag pinag-multiply yan, that is equal to 1. Likewise, 5. Ano yung reciprocal ng 5? That is 1/5. Pag pinag-multiply yan, 5 times 1/5, that is equal to the identity element for multiplication, which is 1. Okay, so yan, sagutan natin ulit yung assignment. Pero this time, we're going to name the property of real numbers na ini-illustrate nitong ating assignment kanina na sinagutan. So, sagutan na natin. Natin dito yung sagot. Yan, so 19 plus 6 is equal to 6 plus 19. So makikita nyo, nagkapalit lang ng pwesto yung ating addend. So ang tawag natin dyan ay commutative property. Yan. Commutative property. Para specific, lalagay natin yung for addition. Kasi ang operation natin dyan ay addition. Next, number 2. Negative 9 times 7, that is equal to 7 times negative 9. So ano naman yung in-illustrate nito na property? So kung mapapansin niyo, yung negative 9 at saka yung 7, yung mga factors natin ay nagkapalit lang ng pwesto. So kung ito ay addition, kasi addition kanina, dito naman ay multiplication. Ayan, nagkapalit lang ng pwesto. Tawag yan ay commutative. Ayan. Commutative property for multiplication. Ayan. Okay, next. Let us have 28 plus 0. That is equal to 28. So, yan. Itawag tayo dito sa 0 na to. Ito yung identity element ng addition. Ayan. Any number added to 0 is equal to the number itself. Or that is ang nire-represent nito ay yung ating tinatawag na identity. Yan. Oh no! Maalala ninyo yung sa mirror. Yan. Yan yung nagre-reflect sa mirror. Identity. Oh, no! Yan. Property. Sorry. Yan. For addition. And next, 16 times 1 is equal to 16. Yan. Any number multiplied by 1 is equal to the number itself. So that's it. What property? Tawag natin dyan ay identity. Yan. Property for multiplication. Yan. Okay, next. 10 plus negative 10. Okay, mapapansin nyo dito, yung 10 natin, yan, yung kanyang opposite ay negative 10. Pag pinag-add nyo yan, ang sagot ay yung ating tinatawag na identity element ng addition, which is 0. Ang tawag natin dito sa property na to ay yung ating inverse property. Yan. Any number added to the additive inverse or the opposite is equal to 0. Or that is the identity element for addition. Okay, next, dito naman, 1/3 multiplied to 3 is equal to 1. So, yung 3 natin, ang reciprocal na to ay 1/3. Pag pinag-multiply natin yan, yung 1/3 saka yung 3, yan, that is equal to the identity element for multiplication, which is 1. So, ang nire-represent nito na property ay yung natawag natin na identity property for multiplication. Yan. Okay, so yan, malapit na. We have this, 6 plus the quantity 4 plus 3 is equal to 6 plus, the quantity 6 plus 4 plus 3. So, mapapansin natin dito, nag-group tong second and last number, which is 4 and 3. Dito naman, ang nag-group naman yung first and second, which is 6 and 4. So, anong property ang tawag dito? For addition, that is, we have associative and property for, tawag dyan ay, para sa addition. That is for addition, associative property for addition. And next, we have 4 multiplied to quantity 3 plus 5 is equal to 12 plus 20. So, ano nangyari dito? Paano nagkaroon ng 12 saka 20? Sabihin yan, pag pinag-multiply natin to, 4 times 3, that is equal to, yan, 4 multiplied by 3, that is equal to, yan, that is equal to 12. So naman, 4 times 5, pag pinag-multiply natin yan, 4 multiplied by 5, that is equal to 20. Ang tawag dito sa property na to ay distributive property. Ayan. Tapos na rin. Sagutan na lahat. Yay! Okay, so ayan. Marami pong salamat sa mga nakikinig at umaantabay sa aking video lesson. Pasensya na po sa delay ng aking video lesson kasi medyo mahina ang signal sa aming lugar. Po, marami pong salamat. Hanggang sa muli po. Paalam!